Great. Welcome today, you guys. Happy Friday. Looking forward to just spending some time with you today to showcase our new cemetery module. And we're excited to not only be releasing this, but already having customers utilizing this product today out of our customer base. So excited to showcase this with you guys. As I get started, just a couple kind of housekeeping things with regards to the webinar tool. On your end, you should see kind of this menu bar up top from which you can do some chat. And I think on my next screen here, I have a little Q&A section that we can utilize towards the end. Myself or Francisco on the workhorse team will try to address those items that may come up. And I believe if need be, I can actually unmute you if you're on a device that you can have a mic to. So we can even do that if it's needed. And then for some reason, if you get exited out of the tool, you can easily rejoin as well because things happen. So with that, just to talk about the agenda for today, we'll just cover a little bit about who we are as Workhorse. I know some of you are customers with us, so you already know this, but others of you may not know who we are, and so just got a little blurb on that. We'll explore some of the features of the new module, and then obviously get into the new program. So just a little bit about us. So we are in 40 years of serving municipalities. And with that, we as a business focus on kind of small to medium-sized municipalities across currently in the state of Wisconsin. And that includes cities, towns, villages, utility districts, and other like entities. With that, for those that don't know us, we do have a full municipal product offering, and I got another slide to just kind of show all those different solutions that we do offer. One of our big cornerstones as a company, obviously, is just our commitment to providing outstanding service and support with programs that are easy to use. So that's one thing that has allowed us to grow over the years. And as a business, we're a Wisconsin-based company that, some of our values is our faith, our family, and obviously exceptional service to our customers. So from our product offering, as I mentioned, for those of you that may not know us, we have a wide array of products that solve a lot of the whoops, sorry about that. Items that a municipality may have from accounting, payroll, utilities to a lot of other items. So and obviously today we're talking about the cemetery module. And just to cover some of the features at a high level, this is a web-based solution for us as a business. Historically, we've been a local installed program. This is now a new online web-based program that's available. As you'll see when we dive into this, we have pretty comprehensive data tracking abilities, so a lot of different data points that you can have and save if you know that information regarding your cemetery records. Easy search and reporting capabilities. We do have the ability to track payments if you so choose to, and then we have abilities if you would like to have the ability to show files or images and attach files. And then something that's just new that we'll be releasing soon here in the next day or two, I believe, is the public search option that you can have a link on your municipal website or cemetery website to show and allow outside people to search a record. So So with that, I am going to toggle over for the demo. So this program is one where a user will have an email login and password. So it's, you set up users and those users just access it via a website. Once in, once you log in, you land on what we call our dashboard page, kind of a landing page. And on this page, you'll notice that we have kind of these four tiles across the screen, where you'll see this first one on the left that just kind of says, hey, this is who you are, kind of the cemetery name or municipal name, and that'll be listed there. And then you'll see your number of grave sites, persons buried, and then since, like I mentioned, we do have that payment piece, you can see if there's any unposted payments. So that's kind of this top tile view. Down below, you'll obviously see just recently viewed records. Across the top, we have the maintain kind of menu option where we're going to enter information, and I'll come back to that. We have this post option, which is really just posting payments. And then obviously reports are over here. And then kind of moving across this gray bar up here, we have kind of our system setting gear area. And then we have help files with regards to help. When this loads, it'll have kind of different little sections like, hey, I need to add a new burial type. How do I do that? So it's got kind of step-by-step steps and images to kind of walk you through that if you do, in fact, need some help with that. So that's all built within this program. So returning back to the kind of main dashboard view, which I can do just by clicking on this upper left workhorse logo up here, that'll take us back. So just to kind of walk through the program and just giving you some visibility to the options. Like I mentioned, maintain is where we're putting in information. So if I, for example, would go to burial types, this is a pick list option that's going to show up on the gravesite record. So I can easily put in, if I click on this, create a new burial type, I could come in and add that new option, new type, whatever you want to, have in there. That would be in here, and then it's going to be saved, and then that's going to be available when I go into create a grave record. I'd be able to select that type. So that's same goes with, funeral homes, payment types. So what type of payments do I want to track if I am going to use that piece of the program? Those are those options. And then down here, security. So with users, just to kind of talk about that, there are different access levels. So, hey, we have somebody that we just want to give read only. We have, super normal user access. So just gives different permission levels within the program, and those are set up in that section. So, but why don't we go ahead and get into kind of the main part of the program, which is if I go to maintain grave sites, this is going to bring up this view, kind of a grid view, where there's a number of things kind of going on. Obviously, below in the grid, you'll see the different kind of here. This first section is the gravesite location. So we have section, lot, plot, and extension. And then moving over, there's the different data points. Now, this view can be customized by simply coming to this little column selector, and this will allow the user to really create like, hey, what do I want to see when I'm in this grid view? So perhaps I want to also include birth year. I can do that, and that will then populate that column and give me that additional data point out here. So you can customize your view. One of the things you may be noticing is there's these different filter icons from which you can, obviously I could say, hey, I just want to see, what am I on? Death year. any record that has that, and that would just come into that specific uh, group of records based on that. And you can obviously do, like I had shown or just had up here a moment ago, is this ability to kind of do some filters, starts with, ends with, custom. So a lot of different options in terms of really diving into the data that you have. One of the things too up here on the top is an easy, hey, if I wanted to search by a specific name, I could, simply obviously just type that in, and it's going to return any record that kind of has that information in it. So kind of try to have a wide array of ability or ways to search records and view them. So that's kind of some of these different tools that you have up here with the column selector, and then the different filter options, and then even just the search option. But just to kind of take a look at an actual grave record, if I hover my uh, mouse over these three dots, that's going to allow me to, and I'll kind of walk through each of these more details. I'll kind of be able to see things. I can create a payment for this gravesite record from that. I can view payment history. I could view a full report, and I can edit and or if I needed to delete a record. But with this, if I click into more details, from this view, you can see kind of the gravesite um, location information, owner information, and then the person buried. So this is just a quick view of that. If I click on this little square pencil area, that allows me to jump into that grave record and say, make an edit if I wanted to, which I'll come back to. One of the things within our program, you'll notice I have turned on, there's this little gravesite image and person buried image. And even with this, if I had an attachment, I can view the attachment, which in this case is an obituary record. And when I do that, just pops open in your downloads, and you can see that out here, which obviously this does not relate to the specific record, but that's there. So just again showing the ability of the program. Now from where I was, I'm in the gravesite detail. I could easily toggle to payment history and see the related payment information towards this specific gravesite. Now, one of the things you'll notice is this map. I'll click on it, but this is something that we're just getting close to releasing, and in my demo system, I don't have that fully up and running, but there will be some additional mapping capabilities that are coming out real soon, and we're excited to work and show you that in the near future. But right now, that's there, and that's really going to get tied off of the latitude and longitude of that specific record. So right now, I was in the more details. If I wanted to create or view a full report, I can simply click on this. I could select this and also click view full report up here. So there's, a lot of different means of, getting the information. So if I click on that, I'll just show you this. This is just a real basic default report in the system. Now, one of the things to be aware of with our reports, again, this is just kind of a default view. We can modify these reports to, be what you want it to be if need be. You could include some branding if you wanted your municipal logo or something like that. These can get customized if you would like to. Again, obviously we have a default that's available and is there for you. But again, we can also create a custom template for you if that's of interest. Now, just to get into the edit, if I needed to edit a record, again, I could jump to edit, or if I was in this more details and I click on this little pencil, this will walk me through the different data points of a gravesite record. So here we see section, which is a drop down pick list, which is set up under this maintain section codes, and then your lot, plot, and extension. So these are just, kind of basic where is this grave site within regards into the cemetery itself. If I hit save and next, this will just walk me to the next section of the cemetery record, which in this case is their owner details. Again, one of the things I should comment on, the bare minimum of information that's needed to create a gravesite record is this section lot and plot information. After that, it's all optional. That's just the basic data points. So you can enter empty gravesite records from which if somebody came in and said, hey, I want to potentially purchase a gravesite, you could easily run a report that says, hey, these are all of the grave sites that don't have an owner, and you could, provide that to somebody. But going back to the owner record information, this is, we have kind of name, obviously back in time, some of this you may not have, but we would have, the ability to track an email, address information, and then memos, which is just kind of notes that you can associate with a record. If I jump next to the buried person details, which I could hit save and next to do that. This is obviously the data related to the specific person that's buried at that location. So in my example, I used Frank Lloyd Wright, a Wisconsin, person of history and importance that's here. So the name. If somebody is a veteran, we do have this checkbox, which enables a new field that wasn't visible previously, from which then you could say, hey, this person was in the Army, if you know that. So you can enable that, which again, from a reporting perspective for those certain holidays that, hey, maybe we're putting little gravesite flags on or markers, you could easily run a report to show that for the groups that go ahead and do that. So that's there. And then we have, again, this kind of last known information. Hey, do we know a specific address? Do we have, where they were? Coming down to, information. Again, you have certain records that may be populating here. This may be, you may have great details or you may have little details of information. So again, you're populating what you want or can populate. One of those things in terms of how our system is set up, you guys, is we separate the month and day from the year because a lot of times, hey, if we have records that may just say, John Smith died in, 1892. We don't know the specific month and day. So those data points are separated. So that's one thing that's kind of aware or to be aware of. So we have that for the burial date, birth date, death date. And I really think about that, about your historical records. Obviously, moving forward, today we do a much better job of documenting and being aware of those things. So that's there. We have the type of burial. So again, this is coming from the pick list that you have set up under maintain burial type. So hey, what is that type? So you would just simply select that. And then in terms of historical records, probably don't have this, but going, forward in time, the funeral home. So again, whatever group of funeral homes you may have in your community, you can select that and put that in under the maintained funeral homes and have that available to associate with a gravesite record. So, and then again, just kind of moving down, spouse, maiden name, mother's maiden name, father, country of birth. And then here, if you do have an obituary that you just want to copy and paste in, you could do that, or you can do the attachment option as well, which as you can see is just a drop and drag. So you have the ability to go in and document as much or as little information as you want. This last section here is just that review section. Again, if I notice, hey, I'm a human, I accidentally made a mistake, I can jump back to that section and make any updates that I may need to. But then once I hit save, that just takes me back to this main grid view here. So again, with cemetery records, especially going back in time, it's all about, hey, I have this much information available to me, and that's what I can populate going forward. We have a lot more. The nice thing with this program, if there's similar requests about specific data points, we can easily add those if that comes up. So that's a nice thing with this. So in terms of, gravesite record information that's there. And really, I kind of stepped through entering a gravesite, but really, I'd come up here, I'd do that. I would say, hey, what section? And then I would come in and say, what lot am I talking about? What plot that I want to put in? And if there's an extension, I can put that in. And really, again, that's the base information that's needed. Now, one thing with this program, if you were on, say, a cell phone or a Wi-Fi enabled like iPad or tablet, and you were out in the cemetery, and you have your location available and turned on, you can ping your exact GPS location, and it's going to document that in this specific field for you. So that's this one thing that the program does have available for you if you so choose to use that piece. And then, these next couple of sections are the things that I just walked through. So you would easily kind of just go through those to enter a new gravesite record. Excuse me. Um, in terms of just walking through like a payment, that's a pretty easy process where, again, I'm just going to come to that gravesite record. I'm going to say, hey, let's create a payment. I could put in transaction ID, which may be just a check number, something like that. I can put that in, the amount. So maybe it's $500 for maintenance, whatever. Again, this is that pick list that you have that you set up via the maintain payment type. So whatever option is applicable, you would select that to document that. The payer is going to default to the owner name. Obviously, I could change this to, in this case, maybe it's the Frank Wright family. And then you could put in some notes here that you may want to associate with the payment. And then once I do that, if I hit submit, that's going to create this from which I could print a receipt, which is just again a default basic report, just kind of showing what just took place. If I close out of that, that's going to then take me I'm still on Frank Lloyd Wright's gravesite record, but it just takes me over to this payment history tab. Now, if for some reason, we notice this is unposted, if I, again, we're human, if we needed to make an edit to that, it was only supposed to be $50, I could edit that amount if I needed to, which if I do that, it's going to allow me to recreate that receipt because nothing's been posted yet. It's just kind of in this holding stage, and it's there. Obviously, the last step for a payment, once we have a payment entered, is to post that payment. So if it's a one-off, hey, I would do this and then likely jump to posting to post that payment. And I can select, if there was more than one, I could select one or all of those. Step one is to preview. So we're going to preview just to make sure we're doing everything is correct with the information. And then finally is to post. I get to select the posting date, which I'm just going to do as of today's date, but I could, use the little calendar tool to do that. And then I'd hit post. And at that point, that payment has been posted. If I go back to Frank Lloyd Wright's record, and if I say, hey, I want to view payment history, which again is just that section of the gravesite record, we'll now see that record was now fully posted and associated with the that record. So hopefully that's kind of straightforward. Again, with our products, we try to make them intuitive and not too terribly difficult to understand. So hopefully that all made sense. Now I kind of wanted to move to reports. So with our reporting option, if we come over to reports, you'll see gravesite reports, payment history, and then I'm going to jump over this gravesite map, but this audit log. The audit log, this would be visible, I believe, to super users, if I remember correctly. This is going to essentially any user that's in the system, everything they do, we're tracking, right? So if something came up and you need to run some audit reports or something like that, that's available. But to jump back up, if I go to reports, grave sites, when I come here, well, one thing you'll notice is that there was a filter applied previously, and you'll see this notification. Just so you're like, oh, there was something that was applied, which it was done to the death year. I just want to clear that out. So I'm going to hit this X, and that's just going to remove the filter option that was set up. So, but on this reports grave sites, you'll notice this view is very similar, if not the same, to this view. So from a reporting perspective, you do have the ability to kind of, use those filtering tools to create a report. So you can do that there, or you could come here and essentially do a similar action. So now I am not 100% how many military records we have, but there's a handful, just for example's sake. But again, my example of, hey, we want to, run the report for the Legion so they can come out and put out flags. I could do that. And then with this, I could say, you know what, for them, we don't really necessarily need the birth year or maybe the type of burial. Well, maybe we want to keep the type of burial, but we want the veteran, yes or no, and then the military branch so we can see that. Now from that, I could say, hey, I'm going to pop this out to an Excel file. That's there, and this will open just in this it's going to repopulate the information that we were just seeing on the screen. If I did a quick report, this is going to be more of a kind of like a PDF view, and that's going to create that type of report. So a number of different options there in terms of those types of reports. Again, with any filters that apply, you'll notice this is up here, so you're aware of that. Because if I would, go to maintain grave sites and then come back to this, it's gonna save that option, and then I can just clear that out. So that's, in terms of reports on the grave sites, you can, kind of really dive into the data as needed. Payment history, if I select into that, one of the things here, obviously there's those similar filters, but there's also this filter up here that we don't have on the other. But this is really going to go into, hey, I want to filter based off a receipt number, the date it was paid, or by a specific grave site, or who it was paid by. So, hey, I want to look at those Frank Lloyd Wright family payments, and we'd see that. So that's there, and that's going to be available for you to view. So reports again, uh, kind of standard stuff. Now, the one thing that I wanted to show you is the ability on your end, if you so choose to put a link on your website so people can access and search records on their very own. So you would have a link on your website that would redirect to a page, something like this. It would just show, Village of Badgerville or, cemetery name, whatever is on that system settings, from which a person could do, you always get those, well, maybe not always, but on occasion you get those genealogy calls. Hey, I'm looking for my long lost uncle. And they can, instead of them contacting you, you could have this out here and they can put in, a part of the person's name from which they can, if I double click on this, it's going to allow them to view a version of that full report. And the one thing, it doesn't include payment information, but it's going to show, this one's wrapping to 2 pages, but it's going to show the detail, which allows, that option for an external search. So that's something that's there and available for you to put out on a website if that makes sense for your situation. So that's that. And just before I go too far, um, I'm going to just check my notes. I just don't want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Um, all right, so I'm just going to toggle back to the PowerPoint. So there was one question that came through saying, hey, if we have data. This is more about somebody new coming into saying, hey, this program makes sense for us. We have our information in Excel format. Could we import that, or do you have to enter it manually? So great news is yes, we can import records if that format is set up in a way that aligns to obviously the specific data points for what we have, which is just a process, and that's something that we can obviously help with. So there's that. Any questions that you guys may have? Again, you can kind of use that Q&A feature or that chat feature. I'll keep that up. I don't want to make this any longer than maybe is needed, but these are the highlights of the program that we wanted to kind of showcase with you. Again, it's a web-based, it's not tied to any internal system. You're able to give users access to this that, if you're a municipality and maybe just not a cemetery, that cemetery board can have their own logins and manage data and whatnot. So in this program, it's an easy program to turn on and get set up. So there's a pretty short turnaround window with that. Obviously, there may or may not be some discussion just about how data gets put in, but that's one thing. So yeah. So there's a question, and this is coming from a current customer. Um, and yeah, Deborah, we can follow up with you, but this is actually a replacement of the current desktop cemetery module. So that's something that we can follow up with. But yes, this is replacing the current desktop module. So yep. Uh, if you guys have any questions or want to get in contact with me, my email address is up here. You can do that, or if you got the invite, obviously you can get back to me via that. But super, super happy to showcase this for you guys. Hopefully you saw some value in what we have to offer. Obviously, this is one of many products for us. So it's an offering where we're trying to meet needs of municipalities that are out there that may find themselves either already owning the cemetery, or perhaps in some cases I realize and I've heard of, hey, XYZ church or institution managed the cemetery, they closed up, which is unfortunate, obviously. And where does the ownership and the responsibility fall? Well, lucky municipality, that's you guys. And so we're looking to fill that need for you guys and with this solution. So with that, I appreciate everybody joining. We will be sending out the recording, but we thank you for your time on this Friday, and hope you found it valuable. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything, please reach out to me. Happy to connect with you and walk and talk through anything that you may have regarding that. So thanks, and I hope you guys have a great upcoming weekend. And with that, I will end the meeting.